All right, so welcome everybody. I think that after the latest people have taken their seat, we will get ready to start. So, okay, yeah, please sit down. Okay, get comfortable. I think this is going to be a very interesting talk. All right, so let's get going. Welcome everyone to this talk by Mr. Dickson Yewn, who is here. Okay. He's going to be talking to us about contemporary art jewels and the Silk Road. I'm very, very pleased to moderate this talk because, well, first of all, I like art, but also UST Library has been involved in arts and art education for many years by exhibitions and also by bringing in speakers such as Mr. Yewn. And I think jewelry is really so interesting because it's not just art that you put up on a wall, it's art that you wear. And also that it has to be durable, its form and function unified. And in addition to decorating ourselves, it can also send social signals, or in the case, for example, of seal rings, it also has a purpose, and you're stamping things out. So anyway, that's really lovely. Now a little bit about Mr. Yewn. Since he was a boy, since childhood, he's devoted himself to fine arts and felt a strong affinity to Chinese arts and culture. In '95, he started a jewelry band called Life of Circle, and later he sold that, and in 2007 he launched a new brand under his own name, and the shop is still there. It's in the Landmark in Central, if you ever head there. In 2022, Mr. Yewn published the first of 2 volumes. Here we go, over here. It is the first contemporary Chinese jewelry art book in the world, and it has the same name as this talk. He's an artist, an entrepreneur, a literatus. He previously attended the Fashion Institute of Technology in New York, and currently he's also a postgraduate student at HKUST in Humanities and Social Science. He's getting his Master's of Global Chinese Studies. Yes, everyone. Yay! Okay, classmate, come home. Okay. Please also note this talk will be recorded and photos can be taken, and by attending this event, you're giving your consent to be photographed and video recorded, and you're waiving any claims regarding the use of your image by the university. Other thing is, with RVC, when you ask remote video capture, when you ask questions, I'll be running to give you the mic. Okay? So everyone, join me again in welcoming Mr. Dickson Yewn.
Hello everybody. So the screen has a little bit problem, so if it flips or it dims off, you can turn your head on the right. But at the back it's kind of difficult, so just in case it goes off. Another thing is, I noticed that there's only Victoria who is not Chinese here. I know there's university policy that I have to speak in English. Oh, hi, yes. But if necessary, if any students want to ask me a question in Cantonese or in Mandarin, feel free. Okay. How many of you speak here? Raise your hand. Ooh. How many of you speak Mandarin here? Okay, so quite similar amount. So I will be speaking English, but supplemented with maybe a little bit Cantonese and Mandarin if necessary. Because a lot of the terms I have to say really in Chinese. It's really difficult for you to understand. But first of all, I would like to thank you very much, and I'd like to thank you, Victoria, the library, Eunice, for inviting me for the talk. And who else do I have to thank? Okay. Okay. So I understand that a lot of students here are here for points, right? I mean, are you really motivated to come to see my talk, or just want to get points? Okay. Anyway, I'll be fast, and I will at the end leave about 20 to 25 minutes for you to ask questions, because I really like to, because jewelry, I think it seems to everybody is a sort of very niche category of business. Like your parents, when you grow up, do you think they will say, oh, son, when you grow up, you're going to have to be a jeweler? No. Most likely they will tell, oh, you're going to be a lawyer. I want you to be a doctor. I want you to be an academician, you know? Like, I think maybe 1 out of 10 million of the chance that your parents will tell you, I want you to be a jeweler. But your mom will be happy because it means that she will have jewelry to wear all her life, right? Like, have everybody ever thought of this business? Can I have a quick 2 minutes, quick response from you guys? What sort of thing do you understand about jewelry? What kind of brand do you think of when you think of jewelry now? Chinese, Mandarin, Cantonese, speak it out.
Tiffany?
Yes, and?
Zhao XX.
It's okay, Zhao Daifeng, it's okay. Who? Come on.
Cartier.
Huh?
Cartier.
Cartier, yes. Graph, wow. She has money. Wow. Diamonds.
Everyone has money.
Graph.
Jade,
Huh?
or not a brand, but just I think about.
Jade is a category, it's a material.
Yeah.
But you have to distinguish between jade and jade dyed.
Yeah.
So jade dye is from Burma, and it's only been popular for about 200-300 years. Because of whom? Because of the empress dowagers. Before, it was jade. Jade is soft jade, okay? And jade, okay, if you want to talk about jade, I have a chapter on jade. But jade has nothing to do with women in Chinese history. Can you believe that? Has not, even to the extent that men don't want to touch it. Okay? So it's only jade dye so any other brands? Like, I want to hear from someone from mainland. What sort of jewelry concept do you have? What is the use of jewelry? What's the point of wearing jewelry? Oh, you want to say something?
I tried to.
Yeah. What's the point of wearing jewelry?
Well,
Why do we have to wear jewelry?
I don't really know. Like, I'm not the kind of person that like.
But think of you when you grow up. You're gonna get married. You're gonna propose to your wife, your girlfriend.
My girlfriend. Wow. Thank you. Well, in my opinion, like wearing jewelry is more like a symbol. Like
Symbol?
Yeah, it's
Symbol of what? Hate?
not really. It can be like, it can be love, or it can be, friendship. It can be like lots of it.
I think mostly love, right? Nowadays, when you see all the advertisements, they all talk about like diamonds girl's best friend. Like when you say friendship, do you think about diamonds girl's best friend? It's not your generation. It's my generation. So I guess okay. I want to hear more. How about you? Why do we have to wear jewelry? What's the point of having a piece of jewelry or giving a piece of jewelry?
Well, I think wearing jewelry is not necessary, but
What do you wear?
yeah, I know, but it does make you like look better, prettier, and it'll make you feel more confident about yourself.
She has a good point. Yeah. So jewelry, besides it's a symbol of love or a symbol of friendship, or you can get there's a friendship bracelet by Links of London. I don't know. Like there's friendship bracelet. Also, jewelry will gives you a sense of confidence too. Because sometimes when you look at a girl, she's kind of pretty, but it's kind of naked a little bit, so lacking something. Because if you're wearing a beautiful dress and you don't have things dangling from your ear, it looks a bit weird, So yeah. Okay, that's a good point. So it gives self-confidence. It's accessorize you, right? It's a point of fashion. Are there any things about jewelry who want to speak? What's the use of jewelry?
I think, well, this Chinese New Year I met my cousin sister, and she likes gold now because she said that it's currency.
Okay. It's another good point. Gold is in all-time high now. Why? Because there are 4 wars going on in the world, right? So when there are wars and chaos in the world, gold prices goes up. All right. So all the good points are there. Symbol of love, friendship, to accessorize yourself, to is a currency, is a hard currency. Okay, just to give you some statistics, because we're actually USD, we have to talk about facts and figures. Do you know, as of 2021, China has officially become what?
Biggest consumer of jewelry?
Biggest consumer of personal luxury goods. What is personal luxury goods? Personal luxury goods are things that you can carry with you, right? Watches, jewelry, bags, shoes, and clothes. Like in case if something's wrong in a country, you can run away with. Okay? You cannot carry your luxury car, your luxury apartment. You cannot take your yacht, away. You can take your yacht if it's a sailboat. There's not enough gasoline for you to run away. So as of 2021, China officially become the biggest personal luxury goods consumer markets. But 20% of it is because of 代购. Okay? So a lot of the people buy luxury via 代购. Victoria, do you know what is 代购?
Big pudding?
Big pudding. 代購, a lot of 代購, 唔係代購. 代購. It's like a lot of Chinese especially young ones, they want to save on mass luxury. So they will go on the website and, I want to buy this Dior bag, but then if you buy it in Paris, you save on the tax, you save on the import tax, you save on the sales tax. So you ended up saving like 20% if someone would go to Paris to buy for you.
Oh.
So that agent,
Die, like
the
carry.
代购 person, a lot of the time are the air hostess.
Oh.
And
Kind of a courier.
so most people lining up in Paris buying for luxury goods are not the user of the luxury good. They're buying for the consumer in China. They make an average about 2-3% per bag. It's pretty good profit. And especially with jewelry, you can put a lot of jewelry on your pockets. And it's high value, right? Okay? Alright, so enough of this. We'll talk about my book. So people understand about the use of jewelry, okay? And what's the main point. Alright. But I'm in a totally different category of the different brands that you just talked about. Okay, Graf is basically a diamond dealer who hooks up with some kings and queens in the Middle East and become wealthy. Cartier is more normal. It started with just a single father. He created Cartier 200 years ago, and then had 3 sons. So 3 sons during wartime, World War I, World War II, they were doing pretty good. Like one son opened a shop in London, one son opened a shop in New York and Paris. And then it's at a time when, it's like it's not the first wave of luxury, but then Cartier is the kind of brand that I'm building. But it will take 3 more generations for me to do. I'm the first generation. So I built this brand, and I'm hopefully going to pass to my son and daughter. Okay, what a brand? Tiffany. Tiffany is also started by a family. So all this luxury brand that you know, all started by people like me, just a guy who was passionate about arts and jewelry and stuff, and wanted. But why I'm in a totally different categories. All the brands you talk about are basically Western brand, right? Basically, when you think about jewelry nowadays, no one will think of Chinese jewelry, no? When you talk about clothing, okay, I'm going to buy clothes. Unless you put, I'm going to buy Chinese clothes, people assume that you buy Westernized clothes, right? The same apply for furniture and home and everything. Basically, Chinese nowadays, we are left with our stomach. The only time when you go home and say, I'm going home for dinner, I won't assume that you're going to have like a Michelin star Western meal, right? I will assume that you're going to have like very traditional Cantonese or Sichuan or Fujian, wherever you're from. Okay, so that's the only thing. We don't need to put a Chinese in front of it. Okay, nowadays, oh, we're going to buy clothes. Oh, we're going to buy Chinese clothes? No, clothes. No, I'm going to buy a house. Oh, you're going to buy a 四宝院? No. So Stomach is the only thing left. So what I wanted to do 25 years ago, oh gosh, you know, like Chinese is only left with our stomach. What has we got left? So 25 years ago, I wanted to bring at least the smallest entity of Chinese culture back. I've been thinking for a while, what is the smallest Chinese culture I can bring back? Jewellery, right? You know, I can't be an architect. Even if I'm an architect, I don't think I can convince any property developers for me to build like a Chinese style home, which I think the plot ratio will not work for the businessman, right? Because most Chinese homes are very spacious, you got a beautiful gardens and things. How much time have I wasted on speaking about
It's wasted, it's fine.
Yeah, so sorry, I should speak about my book. Okay, all right, I'll go. Okay, so I'm in a totally different category. I want to bring Chinese culture back into the contemporary design world. What is a contemporary design world? Whatever we're wearing, clothing, interior design, everything we live with. All right. So it's been 25 years I've been doing that, and all right. Let me talk about Victoria. How much time we have?
Well, if you want to leave time for Q&A, you still have 40 minutes.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Okay.
don't worry.
So the organizations of this 2 volumes. This is volume 1 of the whole 2 volumes of my works. It took me about 8 years. The whole 2 volumes have about 650 pages. This one got about 200 pages. So how I organized this book is I'm quite systematic. When I started, I wanted to bring the material and the non-material culture of China back. I mean, when people think of doing jewelry, why would they use jewelry to think of bringing the material and non-material culture of China back? Not even, because that's the only way I can do it. I'm not President Xi, I'm not Joe Biden. I don't have the power to order any people. From now on in China, you can only build Chinese style architecture. I don't think even President Xi has this power. You know, if I have the power of God and say, from now on, everything in China, what everything does, you can only design clothes, build architecture in Chinese style. I don't have this power. So, I want to have this power in my own world. Sorry, look right. Look back. So I want to have this own power to build my own little world. So volume 1 is basically my works inspired by the imperial culture of China, the imperial romance and the culture of China. Volume 2 will be my work inspired by daily lives, religions, and philosophies. So basically, I'm bringing the whole civilizations back into my jewelry. Okay. So volume 1, saw Chinese here. So Qingtong, everyone knows Qingtong. This is Qingtong. Architecture is the biggest, my biggest dream. I mean, who can name a contemporary Chinese architect who built Chinese skyscrapers in Chinese style? Who can name one? Someone? There's very few. Maybe there's only one. It's called Ma Yansong. Maybe one day you would like to invite him to come to the talk. He just had a talk at the HKDI.
Oh.
Yeah. So he had a beautiful exhibition in Shenzhen. So he's the only international Chinese architect whose style I think is very Taoist. Okay. So architecture, glorious peonies. Peony hasn't yet named the national flower of China yet. Does everybody know? What's the national flower of China? Not yet decided. But we have national butterflies, we have national animal, we have national everything, but not flower. That's strange, right? But I'll talk about that. The Manchurian, I picked Manchurian, Qing dynasty, as a representative for the imperial romance and culture. Because a lot of the, like Hong Lao Meng, a lot of the beautiful things are being written during Qing dynasty. Imperial tapestry basically are silk. and clothing. How do I incorporate clothing into jewelry? How can I use the concept of tapestry and silk and bring it into jewelry? I don't think I have time to show you. You have to come to my shop. Yeah. Imperial Grace, basically, I brought back all the earrings from Tang Dynasty, Tang Song Yu Ming Qing. All the earrings that I thought is very contemporary, that are basically all copied by the Western world. You know, there are a lot of beautiful things in China that you think is Western, is actually all originated from China. It's actually through the Silk Road, and then it's through the Islamic world, because after the Yuan dynasty, a lot of the Chinese culture got translated into the Islamic language. It's through the Islamic world, the Western world learned about everything from the East. Am I right? I don't know if I'm totally correct.
Well, it was an important part of it.
It's an important part of it. And now, when you look at Google, Google what's the tagline they have? 站在巨人的肩膀上嘛，对不对？there's a book called this way. There's a book called On the Shoulder, Stand on the Shoulder of the Giant.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the book talk about that. The how Islamic world translated a lot of things in Chinese, and then 永乐大典, for example, is a very important. It's the first encyclopedia of the world. It's about 100 years before the first British encyclopedia of the world. Anyway, I guess you want to look at jewelry, right? So, sorry. Oh, look at the right. Okay, look in the front again. So, the Cloisonné enamel is this one. The fan is the fan, right? Gongbi, everybody know Gongbi. Gongbi Huan. It's like a realist paintings. You know, in the Qing court and Ming court, you use Gongbi Huan to record about a lot of things. Versus Wenyuan Hua. Wenyuan Hua is more lyrical, is more fluid, things like that. I'll show you. Snuff bottles, everybody know what snuff bottles are? Okay. Imperial sword, Dao Jian. Okay. Jade. Okay. The next book, I'm just gonna quickly talk through it. Oops, on the right. So, volume 2 is about religion, philosophy, and daily life, right? So, Bodhi tree is about Buddhism. Lot of good wishes. You know, the longevity lock. You know, when you have a newborn child in the good old days, because the mortality rate is quite high, you want your kids to survive, so your neighbor would like hammer and longevity lock for your kid. Okay, so fragrance locket is my intention to bring back the fragrance culture of China back into contemporary design. Nowadays we only have perfume, but it's all chemicals. But before, the fragrance culture in China is so beautiful. There's a book called 香店, 香底. It recorded a lot of the method of what sort of natural ingredients you can use to make fragrance. Lacquerware and Chinaware are two of the most representative material cultures of China, right? Lacquerware dated all the way 3,000 years BC. So flower fairy, okay. I'm going to skim through that. The second book, which will be coming out in 2 years, the most important chapter will be literati, 文人. You know, after 25 years of my work, I find out there's only one solution to save China design. Yes. The only way we can do is to bring back at least part of the literati cultures of the past. Okay? Because after Keju, we basically have in a lost century since 1911. So we basically, after the end of Keju, we basically started HKUST in China. Okay, so for the 100 year, China only care about to catch up with the West, but forget about their own culture. So I guess now it's kind of, we have caught up, right? So it's time to look back at the cultural side. All right, so let's go to. Okay, I don't want to bore you with speaking. I want to show you some art. Okay. It's getting hard. It's quite obvious it's me, right? Looks like me. So this is a 工笔画. Oops, sorry. This is a 工笔画. So it's a long hand scroll. The original is about 3 meters long. It's taken 2 years to paint. This called 翁府. 翁府, I sing Wong Ma. So this is my home. And this is my wife, my daughter, my 2 grandchildren. Yeah, my 2 grandchildren, yeah.
Already?
Yeah.
You're so
My
young.
son speaking to his girlfriend outside the. And my mom, 98 years old. Okay. Okay, so who can tell me? Oops. On the right. Okay. Who can tell me what period is this painting? What period am I depicting this painting? What time? Roughly.
Sometime in the future.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Oh, yeah, hello. You came to my talk. You start there. Okay, it's a painting of Yewn residence, my home, 2040. It's not in the past. It's 17 years from now. Or it's actually 16 years from now.
Okay, I was very puzzled about the grandchildren, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that's why, see, my daughter is 10 years old now.
Yeah.
So 16 years from now, I hope I will have 2 grandchildren by then.
No pressure.
So my son is 5, so 16 years, 21 years old, just finished university, speaking to his girlfriend outside. And why Wong Fu? I'm not a scholar official, I'm not a scholar gentry. How can I call my home Wong Fu? It's art. I can imagine myself to be the cultural minister of China in about 16 years. No? So I can. Okay. Of the 2 volumes, all the collections that I talked about, is all in the painting. Okay? So the reason I commissioned an artist to do this painting is people have no idea what I'm doing. Because it's so hard to explain to people. When people ask me what I do, oh, I do jewellery. Oh, what sort of jewellery do you do? Like jade and diamond and no. I do contemporary Chinese food. What the hell is contemporary Chinese food? Oh, contemporary, I'm just trying to use jewellery art as a language to bring back material and material culture of China back into the contemporary design. What the? I mean, the more I try to depict, the more people got lost. So I decided to do a painting to illustrate that. I think you even get people more lost, right? So you see, the main aesthetic, the Cloisonné enamel, architecture, imperial sword, ceramic, Qingtong, snuff bottles. Everything I depicted in that 2 volumes can be found here. Okay? You see, this is my iPhone 13. It's so heavy that in 16 years later, it became my paperweight. I don't like to waste things. So, there's the 班子, there's snuff bottles. Okay? The cover of the book is actually inspired by Hong Lao Meng. Is the bangle on the cover. I'm doing 12 bangles representing the 12 leading female characters in the Dream of the Red Chamber. And it's inspired by stone carvings. Okay? So all the symbolism can be found. The next book that I'll be doing will talk about Chinese symbolism. There are many symbolism, like the 耄耋之年 or 牡丹, bamboo, what bamboo symbolizes. Oh, that's your right. Okay. Okay. Until here, any questions so far? Of do people understand what the hell I'm doing? I mean, why am I doing this? I mean, am I similar to the category you talk about, Tiffany and Cartier? Perhaps, yes. Maybe I'm trying too hard to tell my story, right? Like, if you actually born and being raised in that culture, you don't have to try so hard to tell people that you're Chinese. I'm trying too hard. No? Like, Tiffany and Cartier, Tiffany won't try too hard to say, oh, I'm American. You know, you see the American by looking at the jewelry, right? The same, you know, you look at Cartier jewelry, you don't have to try. You look, this is French jewelry. You know, so what is Chinese jewelry? I'm the one to define it. I'm sorry. I mean, there's 100 years of cultural void in China. And why I'm doing this, because I want to fill this void of 100 years of void. So, okay, any questions so far? That's the end of the talk. There's no jewelry to see, I'm sorry. Okay, all right, we'll look at the chapters. How many minutes now?
You have about 35 minutes.
Okay, that's good. So you have 35 minutes to look at the jewelry. Okay, let's look at one of my most, since I'm doing the smallest things, in a culture, I draw inspiration from the biggest, okay? I'm drawing inspiration from the biggest material culture of China, which is architecture. So I'm not gonna speak about different kind of architecture in China. You know, this chapter, I think I spoke about this chapter to in Poly U about 4 years ago, just on this chapter for 2 hours, of different kind of architecture in China. But anyway, just showing you where my inspirations are from. For example, two of my biggest strengths of my jewelry are squareness and wood. Okay? So these two elements, do you see a lot in jewelry? No, right? When you think about rings, who would think about ring being square? No one. When you think about bangle, who would think about wearing a wooden bangle that would get soaked and extracted, contracted? Okay, but this is two of my strengths. Okay. This is my hometown in Chaozhou. So you know, the Jiu people, Chaozhou people, are actually quite good in keeping their culture. So this is still in existence. You know, the tongue and growth. Although we built a very bad structure to support the old wooden structure, but we still want to keep it. This is Hui Pai 建筑. Huizhou, everybody knows where Huizhou is, right? What is Huizhou famous for? Hui. Any Chinese student? Hui商是什么？盐商，对不对？中国历史上最有钱的人是从徽州嘛 ？Have you seen 卧虎藏龙 ？Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. 周润发. When 周润发 was flying from the lake, the background is this 徽派建筑. All right, okay. When I first started to do square rings, I actually had many setbacks. The first square ring that I did was 2003. Well, technically 2000, but the proper square ring is 2003. I did a series of it. The first reaction when I show my square ring to a lady, what do you think her reaction is?
Jump back.
She jumped back. Oh, she jumped back. Thanks, Lord. Yeah, that's pretty scary, right? I mean, who would do a square ring which is so pointed and so sharp? No? But later you all get a chance to try it. Okay? In exchange of buying a book. Okay. Alright, this is Wu Yuan. Everybody knows where Wu Yuan is. Mo Yuan. Wu Yuan. It's also one of the very important family. So a lot of my square rings draw inspiration from the Chinese lattices, you know, the windows. Okay. Okay, so from 2003, my square ring actually, I didn't even manage to sell maybe 10 pieces until 2011. It's very difficult. It's trying to, I felt like as if I'm like a scientist in the 14th century Europe, trying to convince the church that the planet is round. I don't want to get hanged and burned. So that's my reaction when I first showed my ring to a lady. She wanted to hang me. Until I have someone who saved my life. That's Michelle Obama. I think people who, before they came to my talk, you have Googled me, maybe you see her. It really a miracle because I didn't pay her to do that. But then she looks like she got paid to do this, right? Because Dickson paid me like $20 million US. I got to post this one. Okay? Not the necklace, it's the ring, okay? I only found out 1 week after she wore it. And not only did she wear it, she actually wore it to one of the most important events that she attended with Mr. Obama. That's the royal wedding. That's the very soon to be King William. King William wedding. I guess in a couple of years. Okay, King William. You're not from the UK. Okay. All right. So sorry.
Yeah, no
But,
problem. I've
you know,
never
I
traveled to the
hope
British royal family
King
at all.
Charles will live forever.
Huh?
Long live King Charles. We're still an ex-British colony after all. Okay, so after the success of the square ring, I became very courageous, very brave. Everything then after Michelle Obama, wow, it's really a miracle. After she got it, like I basically, the minute the woman back up, I showed Michelle Obama ring, I want to. But then she kind of lost her flair now. I mean, back then she was really popular. From Europe to South America. The only place where I tried to sell a ring, almost sold it, when a guy saw her picture, say, Dickson, I'm sorry, I'm gonna look at it next time. Do you know where it is? Texas.
Oh.
Republicans.
Oh.
Okay? Oh, you're American?
Yes.
Okay, so it's the Texas where I almost sold one of her ring, and when her husband came to pay for it, I didn't have that book in a way, but I have a little catalog. She said, is it Obama? I said, yeah, what's wrong? Is she wearing the ring my wife is gonna wear? Yeah.
But it's a different ring. It's not like it's her used ring.
No, but it's the same style.
Yeah.
So he was very kind. He almost paid. He just walked away. It's like $35,000 US. All right. So I became very brave and I did everything in square. Not only did everything in square, I also did everything in wood. So, okay. So it's hard to look at the beauty of the jewelry through these pictures. But just a reminder, it's totally worthwhile to buy this book because this book combined 88 books from the National Palace Museum of Taiwan. Oh, I shouldn't call it National Palace Museum. The Taiwan Gugong. Okay? It's recording, I'm sorry. It's Taipei Gugong. Got the 88 books, the National Treasures book combined into one. Okay? So it's like, if you buy this book, it's like you're buying all the national treasure of China. Alright, people ask what the hell this is. This is like an object d'art. So it's a tableware. It's actually jadeite, and this is the scholar rock but carved in wood. But it's carved in a way that I actually study the way the literati draw the scholar wood by hand painting. It's called 皱纹. So, you used to dry side up your brush to paint the scholar rocks. So I learned this technique and employ it in wood carvings. You see? So I carved as if I'm doing calligraphies. It's very difficult, but it's not done by me, it's done by my master. Okay, so this is 4 season brooches. It's sold to a gentleman who want to have a meter to tell what his wife is feeling on that day, what her wife's mood is. So if the wife wakes up and wear a brooch from the winter, oh, I better don't talk to my wife. If the wife wakes up and choose a brooch from spring, oh, let me have a romantic dinner with my wife and I might have another baby tonight. Okay? So it's okay. You're all above 18 years old, right? Or legal ages? Okay. So this is Chungongtu, the erotic art of China. It was exhibited in an art fair, because oh, and one point is that I'm also one of the leading jeweler in the world who managed to get into the contemporary art fair. So I invite you all to Art Central, Art Basel, which is coming. I have a wonderful booth right in front of the door, 812, Art Basel. No, Art Central. Please come. And I'm the only artist using jewelry as a medium to show art. So this is the artistic side of Chinese jewelry, it's Chungongtu. We'll see what's erotic about this jewelry. Can any student tell me why is it erotic? What is it erotic about? Sexy, or maybe you can say.
Sexy?
Yeah, sexy. Sexy. You cannot tell?
No, I don't.
How about you? What's sexy about this picture? Alright, I won't force you. So, it's called subliminal message. It's like implied beauty. I mean, the way Chinese beauty should be implied, not explicit, right? But of course, when you look at the erotic Chungongtu in the past, it's very explicit. But then the erotic art in the past is not meant to show, it's meant to collect. But most of the biggest collectors of Chinese erotic nowadays are not Chinese, they are all Westerners. Because the Chinese sense of beauty is implied. So I'm implying there's erotic things happening because you see clothing over here, you see clothes drop on the ground, you see 2 beetles very busy.
Yeah, I thought that's what it looked like.
And then you see 2 bees, very busy bees. Also the frog, what frog symbolizes in Chinese? 蛙蛙，三个小娃娃，生育 fertility. Okay? Okay, this is a more contemporary, modern interpretations of erotic art. It's called after sex cigarette. I'm sorry, but this is a cigarette holder. Okay, but this is more like a Western Art Deco period cigarette holder. But I rendered it in the same sort of sceneries of this erotic arts. Okay. It's very hard to explain to you how to use a cigarette holder because you're not born, you're not 18 years old in the 30s. 民国的时候, oh, sorry, there's no 民国 officially. How shall I put that? 1930s in China. Okay, okay, 1930s. This is a little bit black humor. It's 2 flies. This is a black humor. All right. Oops, sorry. Okay, that time. Okay, lots of things inspired by Chinese garden. One part of Chinese culture I'm most fond of is the Chinese garden. doesn't matter if it's Imperial Garden or the Literati Garden, but I'm more fond of the Jiangnan Garden, not the Northern. I don't like the Northern Garden. It's very boring. I mean, the Jiangnan people are much more interesting than the Northern people. I'm sorry, I'm no one from Northern China, right? Okay. Okay, let me show you another chapter because okay, let's talk about Jade because someone mentioned about Jade. Just want to tell you some misconceptions about Jade. On the right. Okay. Okay, here. Guess what's the use of all this? Historically, during all the dynasties, soft jade are basically used on the literary objects, the daily object for display. What's the use of this one?
Holding ink or incense?
To wash your brush.
Oh.
This is easy. Incense, right? This
A symbol of state power, or it's like.
no, it's a bell hook.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is also a bell hook. It's like 皮带 you 穿的皮带，皮带扣对不对？皮带扣。So J has nothing to do with woman. This is a teacup. This is a 台北故宫的白菜。Okay, another misconception about J dye, 翡翠. When you talk about 翡翠, it has to have red and green. If it's just green, it's called 翠玉. 翡翠 is a bird. Empress dowagers name it 翡翠 because the 翡翠 looks like this 翡翠. Okay? So when you see a green jade, you can only say it's 翠玉. When you see a red jade, it's 翡玉. Okay? You cannot say 翡翠 when you see a jade. Okay, more guessing game. What do we use this for? No? It's small. It's small.
Holding your brush before you.
No? Close. Holding your ink cake. The cake to warm up. Very stylish, right? There's everything for everything. Okay. If anyone could guess this, the use of this, if you take a guess, I'll give you a free book. This one.
How big is it?
Oh, you cannot. You have attended my talk. Those who attended my talk before cannot.
How big is it?
I cannot tell because you're winning a prize. I cannot give you tips.
Is that too big?
Let's open it now. Wrong. Oh, I didn't tell you if you answer wrong, you have to buy a book. Thank you very much. $800. Nadia, please charge me. Okay. 1, 2, 3. No. You have to think in old-time mentality. You cannot think now. What do people do in the past? Wealthy people. You know, they ride on horses, right? They have many knots to tie. It's to unhook the knot. You know, sometimes the knot is so tight that you have to stick it in and cook. This is from Warring State. Xi, President Xi. Xi, Warring State. Okay? 480 to 221 BC. 下面 is B. This one. So the most traditional use of J is B. Why the men don't want women to touch it? Because it's so sacred. Jade was supposed to be the most sacred object for gentlemen. Okay? This you know, right? Okay. Okay. 6 more minutes. Let's look at some real jewelry. Cloisonné, who knows what cloisonné is? Most people won't know what cloisonné enamel these days. 掐丝珐琅.
Oh.
Okay. So this is how I reinterpreted it. Instead of using, I didn't use proper cloisonné, the first generation. I just mimicked the look and the feelings. Yeah, 景泰蓝 in Cantonese. Then the second generation, I really use up the techniques of cloisonné enamel. So this is my reinterpretation. Nadia, can you pass on some square rings and cloisonné enamel? Can you turn on the light in the middle so that you can see? Okay, we'll pass some jewellery around while speaking of it. 中間嗰個啲燈 ，OK 有啦，唔好住喎，唔好嬲到。Okay, who wants to try? Who wants to become Michelle Obama? Who wants to be Michelle Obama? Trinh你幫我。Olivia， 你管呢個，你管呢個，幫我 pass 下。
跟住佢俾錢，即刻影相。
OK OK， 俾錢。
我唔得啦，大個啦，我試過啦，又搞事啦。
Maybe a little more bibliography.
All the best. You can still pay. Oh, still can pay.
近個字俾佢，俾個字
Other fingers
蓝色的部分。Okay, so while you look at the jewelry, I'll continue my talk. Those, no, you all have a chance to look at it afterward. Yeah, after you buy it. Well, you have to buy the ring, just buy it. Oh, wait, if you want to read the book, you can borrow from the library, by the way. Yeah. So, do you want to put on reserve? Like, everyone can borrow for 3 days.
How can you know this?
He's an HKUST student.
Yeah.
Straight A.
Okay.
Library user.
Yeah, I'm still. I have like one more class to go. Okay. Everybody's back? 5 more minutes.
The best Q&A session.
So I want to speak about.
Yeah, well, I'm curious about you and the path that you took, and then
let's
that, and then we can.
Yeah, why don't we start the Q&A? I can answer questions by showing more chapters. why don't we start the Q&A? So Victoria asked.
So my question for you, hi, thank you. My question for you is, how did you go from being an artist to deciding to use jewelry as your medium, and then jewelry business?
Okay, that's a very good, and it's perfect for this bibliography chapter. So let's start from here. Okay, lights off. Jewelry's coming back. No more jewelry. No more jewelry. No more jewelry. Okay. All right. The question from Victoria was how I became a jewelry artist. I was born and raised up in Chongqing Mansion. Everybody knows Chongqing Da. Yeah. Have you been there to China Curry?
I go grocery shopping there sometimes.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
You know, you do your money exchange, right? Whenever you do like traveling to Southeast Asia, Bangkok, you get a money exchange there. So I was born and raised there. I actually saw the filmings of Wong Kar-wai, Chongqing Express, but it's a lie. There's only one scene which was filmed there, and Maggie Zheng was not there, Wong Kar-wai was not there. It was just the camera crew taking some side shots. Okay, so most of the scene were not taking. So oops. Okay, look on the right. Okay, look back here. I was brought up there, so I was a city boy. I was a city jeweler. So I got my first disco card at 15 years old. And at that time, Tsim Sha Tsui was like DD, or there's one club and disco called Chicago. So my mother's client gave me the VIP card by the age of 15. So I basically hang out in disco for like all my teenage years. Okay, I want to make it short because I don't want to answer to. I started. My mom wanted me to be, my father was in the watch business, and my mother was actually slowly moved to the jewelry business. I never really worked for them, but then because maybe I was born, my mom is in the jewelry and watches. I thought jewelry is so easy; it's a piece of cake. So I thought I ventured into some other things first. I actually studied business administration in Canada first. Then I came back, I worked, my first dream was to become a filmmaker. So I was actually in the film business for 7 years. Not full-time because you don't get to make the films every month, right? You don't get a salary to do that. So you only do it when your opportunity comes. So to answer the question, I think jewelry was my last passion. It was really out of sort of a little bit naturalistic sentiments. It was really out of something, we were born and brought up in the British colony. There's no British here, right? We don't like the British. To be honest, when I was a kid in the disco, do you know what do we do? Sometimes when a British drunk guy pick on a Chinese woman, we all go pull him to the back and beat him up. So that's what we did when we were teenagers. As a Hong Kong Chinese, you probably think that we're very westernized, but we, as Chiu people, actually we have left mainland China for like 400 or 500 years. I have a lot of relatives in Singapore and Thailand. You know that out of 50, it's real statistics, you will show. 53% of Thai Prime Minister was Chinese. Thaksin, just released from the prison, is Chiu. Okay? Alright? So I don't know if I have answered the question.
Okay, well, that was a good start, so
Yeah.
thank you. So now we're going to open the floor to more questions, so please don't be shy. Okay, here's a question.
So we know that Zhao Dai for it is like Chinese jewelry brand, and I mean I think they draw some inspirations from Chinese culture, Chinese art, and I see that your jewelry is also draw inspirations from Chinese art and culture. But I want to know the difference between.
Oh, there's a big difference because I actually urged them to do so. The boss of Chow Tai Fook is my friend, Adrian Zhang. About 6-7 years ago, I don't know if I can say that, but 6-7 years ago, I went to Chow Tai Fook and say, I ran out of money, can you buy me out? But I don't want your names to be under Yuan by Chow Tai Fook. No, I'm just joking, but he's a friend of mine, a family friend. So I went to him saying, well, can we do a collaboration? It's like, you have so much money and so much money. Can I do design and you supply me with diamonds and pearls? Because Chow Tai Fook is one of the site holders of diamonds, so they have many diamonds. So the deal didn't go through, but I was talking to Adrian. I urged them, with your power, why don't you do something Chinese? Chow Tai Fook, the name is Chinese, but there's nothing Chinese about it. Only recently. So only for the past 7 years, because I know all the creative director and everything. The creative director used to work with my mother. So, so that guy, then they work with Palace Museum. They have the power to work with Palace Museum. I don't. They can go to Palace Museum and exhibit. I don't. So you have such a power. I urge them, you go learn about Chinese jewelry making, goldsmithing from Palace Museum, and they did. So it took them 4 years to study goldsmithing with the team, and then lately they came out with a collection, which has been quite successful. So to tell you, I'm really, I'm not trying to be, bluffing or anything. I'm really honestly and sadly the only contemporary Chinese jewelry designer in the front line. As of today, Hong Kong, there's only one independent designer left in AA Grade Shopping Mall. I'm the only one left. It's very sad. Because it means that the Western luxury brand had successfully basically conquered China. Okay.
Okay, thank you. More questions?
Sorry, you'll be next. You're queued up, don't worry.
What's your future plan?
My future plan? Oh, it's very simple. I'm not in a rush of, like becoming famous or open many shops. My plan is just to sincerely work on the Chinese culture and really build this brand so that it can be a good reference for the future designers and jewelry designers who follow steps. So I really want to pass on my kids if it's possible. So I'm trying to brainwash them now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
You have a question.
I'm from Mexico, and my partner is a Hong Kong person.
Okay.
So when she went with me to visit me in Mexico, she realized that many of us wear traditional clothes or traditional earrings. And when I came here, I saw that most of the young women look the same.
Yeah.
Like
they all wear the same Cartier, they wear the same Tiffany.
yeah. So I do wonder my question is also like for people here, why is this rejection, or I don't know, like why you don't embrace your cultural background?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think you have to enroll in Master of Chinese Language Studies. See, I'm promoting to university. And then you'll find out the answer. Because only with statistics, you understand Chinese history, the socio-political situations. Because China was very much in turmoil for the past 20 years. Chinese were so dirt poor. The only thing you want to do is to survive, is to be rich. To be rich is the only Chinese dream. For the past 100 years. I mean, for the past 50 years at least. So if you know about contemporary Chinese history, I mean, I can tell you all the figures. China enjoyed the longest wealthy prosperity, and it was the biggest exporter of luxury goods only 150 years ago. Also, China enjoyed the longest period of living in a very luxury lifestyle for 800 years. That's the longest in any civilizations in the world. It's not said by me. I have papers to prove to you, okay? Then you have to enroll HAUST. Also, Mexico is a great source of reference because many Mexican people are still close to their own culture. They wear their own clothes. And thanks to all the Mexican silver that was being shipped to China, China became so rich. We sell luxury goods to the West in exchange for Mexican silver. Yeah.
Okay, well, I have a sort of follow-up question, and
Yes.
that is that is that it also, when you're saying about young ladies, and that could it also be that a lot of the traditional Chinese styles of jewelry, like when you get married, that the young women didn't want to wear them because it looks senile, or that,
gaudy.
yeah. So, for example,
When I got married, the bracelets that
Yeah.
were almost like handcuffs.
Long Feng,
Yeah.
the Dragon Phoenix
yeah,
bangle.
or sometimes when I walk by Jade
Yeah.
it's like, the pig, and it's like it's almost like something a warrior would wear to keep the spears, and like little pig, and then the little baby pig stuck, and it's not particularly graceful. Some of that, and so I was wondering also if you could maybe speak to that issue as well, of that style of jewelry and why it's being sold, what is appealing.
Well, it's all linked to the previous things I just mentioned, because China was dirt poor for 150 years. Basically, those gold jewelry were catered to farmers. You know, it's catered to the agricultural sort of farmer, because the urbanization only happens like 40, 50 years, right? And before that, 80% of the population lived in the countryside as a farmer. And when they get married, they don't care about jewelry, they just care about the gold, the dowry, right? So style is not in the question. It's like we have lost the elitist Chinese society was long gone. In Europe it's the aristocratic family. In China, it was the literati class, the scholar gentry class. I blame the disappearance of the scholar gentry class for the decline of the Chinese culture until now. So I still urge you study more humanities subjects. Because part of the humanities subjects have a lot of the things that the scholar gentry in the past study, like Taoism, Zhuangzi, Sisu Wu Jing, and things like that. So I guess people are interested in the way how I create, like my thought process. Someone asked that before. Is anyone interested to know? Okay, I have a very unique creative process, unlike other jewelry designer. Most jewelry designer, how they design, they have the client in the mind first. So they design what the client like to make money. I'm not. I design what I like. This is why I call myself an artist, not a designer. An artist does what he thinks, what he likes. He doesn't give a damn of what people like, right? I don't do that. Okay? And the way I think is, I like most literatus, I use languages to create. I have to study, know my stuff. When it comes to craftsmanship, either I go learn myself, like for wood carving, for example. When my wife went to France to learn French cooking, I said, wow, I'm going to Taiwan to learn wood carving. So I went to Taiwan to learn from a master wood carving. Although I'm not like really handy doing everything, but I know the process, I know the feeling. I have to get a feel of everything I do. When I do Cloisonné enamel collection, I go to Christie and Sotheby's and look and buy. You know, I go to Europe, you know, go to the free markets and dig for my treasure. So every time I do a collection, I do collect that things and try to understand it. Okay? And the same, and then even more important process, I think Chinese create through study. If you don't study, if you don't have a degree, I believe the best designer in future should have a university degree. Know how to study, at least know how to learn. Okay? If you don't know how to learn, I don't think it makes you a very good designer. Your design will be very shallow, very empty. Okay?
Okay, thank you. More questions?
Yeah, I want to ask about your customer.
Because
Do you know whether the Western people like your design more or the Chinese people like more?
Oh, it's a good question. My customers is very crystal clear. I can say 9 out of 10 of my customers are power women. Not okay. There's a spectrum, right? Power woman. There's from a university graduate who started her first job. I mean, most of my clients are women who worked. I don't have type clients. Okay? I don't have beautiful women who marry a wealthy husband and never worked in her life. I can't say I despise them, but in a lot of occasions I kick them out of my shop because they said something very offensive. Like, you know, one time they say, "Well, what is this? What kind of brand is it?" And then look at my jewelry and throw my jewelry on the tray. I immediately you get out. You get out. You're not welcome. Yeah. I mean, there are many extremes. It's just like 2 months ago, last year, I was in Jakarta. You know, Jakarta, you know, there are many wealthy Indonesian Chinese customers. And I went there, and then one lady came. I don't know, somehow my showroom was like 4th floor up, and there's no elevator. And this poor billionaire lady had to walk 4 flights up. So the minute she came and sweating and complaining, "Well, who the hell are you? Make me walk up 4 stairs." You know, Cliff and Apple, the director fly from Paris to my home to show me, "Joe, who the hell are you to tell me to walk 4 flights to come your shit?"
Did you ask her to leave?
No, I asked my assistant to go out, pretend to be me. And she couldn't handle it, and I go. And I take the J ring, and I took her. Oh, and I put it back. Oh, sorry. Why are you not showing me? Show everything. No, I don't think you qualify. You know, there are customers who you need to humiliate them. Yes. Do you know, she ended up buying 5 pieces. You know, she got so humiliated that, you say when the boss came to my home and showed me the jewelry. I know Christie, director, he came to me, and then, you know, she's so rude. She immediately called, I said, "I know the Wencliffe director, he's my friend." She immediately called him up. "Oh, no, do you know Dickson?" Luckily, I really know him. "Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Bernard. You know, this is my guy. I believe you have a very good customer, but you know, we just stepped on the wrong foot and things like that. I'm sorry. I'll call you back later on." And then say, "Oh, you know Christie? Yeah, Christie. Anna used to work with him." We didn't call him immediately. Luckily, I know all these people. You know, so this is one extreme customer I have. So this is the extreme Tai who married a billionaire Indonesian Chinese, who never worked in her whole life, you know, who had like 10, 15 maids at her home. Yeah, all the Indonesian Chinese have like 20 maids and 5 drivers. Okay, so this is one extreme Tai. So my customers are international. Basically, in America, it's mostly Jewish, a lot of Jewish. I can tell you a few customers of mine, besides Mr. Obama, There's the Oracle boss, White, Melanie Addison, Janet Jackson, you know, to name a few famous people. So all people worked. So I'm not bluffing, but I'm in a way a niche market that in Europe, my primary customer are industrialist women, like German industrialists who make cars, you know. I have quite a few of aristocratic family. My oldest customer is from 12th century Prussia. Okay? His name is Limbus Stidrum. You can Google. So I met him in an art fair. He's in his 40s. So he's like a gentleman. He used to work in Christie for Western decorative art for 16 years. So he just finished his job, and he really liked my piece, and he was very surprised. He even said to me, "Oh gosh, you know, I was brought up at home with Chinese antiques and furniture, seeing the beauty of China. For this 100 years, he didn't see nothing." And I was so impressed, I was so happy that he find, you know, someone of his status would look up to my work. You know, I thought, you know, I'm like back into the Ming Dynasty, Qing Dynasty, and I can command this beauty, Chinese aesthetics and erotics. Anyway.
Thank you. That was really interesting. Good question, Clara. Other questions, and don't forget you can ask in Cantonese or Mandarin if you feel comfortable asking.
Of course, my customer are all the average, you know, working women, career women, lawyer, doctors. In Singapore, I have a lot of doctors and lawyers and professionals. Okay. Okay. 中文有什么普通话有什么
Clara has a follow-up.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you have a question? Your eyes.
No.
你可以用中文问也可以。It's okay if you don't have a question. I just thought your eyes. Oh, you just follow me. Okay.
We have a.
Okay.
I am just asking for on behalf of our colleagues.
So
what is the entry price? Because I'm afraid they won't dare to enter.
My entry price is very friendly. It's about 30,000 Hong Kong dollars. So it's like any luxury brand like Cartier entry level. They love bangles. This is my entry level. My category, you know, my category of jewelry is independent jewelry designer brand. Okay, so Tiffany Cartier, luxury brand, and they are also in 3 categories. Cartier is in mass luxury, they are in luxury, and they're in high jewelry. They're in 3 categories. So I'm in a category of independent jewelry designer brand, also in the fine jewelry category, but in a collectible fine jewelry category. There are fine jewelry which are not collectible. For example, the Cartier Love Bangle, one particular style, until right now, they might have like maybe 15 million pieces being made already. Okay, so this is mass luxury, all right? But on average, my pieces are either 8 pieces, or one of a kind, or limited edition of 38. So it's a totally different categories of work. So I have another brand called Life of Circle, Victoria introduced. It's going to be coming back in mainland China. I'm moving to Shanghai this year, after I finish my degree at QUSD. And I'll be relaunching Life of Circle. People who are familiar, who have lived in Hong Kong for the past 15 years will know I'm in all shopping mall. IFC, Lee Gardens, you know, the double happiness. You know, Kilin was born in the same time as my brand. Do you know Kilin? Hulu. Yeah, was born at the same time as my brand, but I sold earlier than he did. So it's coming back in China, and the price is only 300 to 3,000.
Okay, great, thank you. Oh, sorry, Gabi has a question too, and also my colleague will be putting up the feedback form.
So
Dickson, you're very innovative. We saw a lot of your work that is, you test different materials, wood, combine different ideas. So now you show, a few of your signature design and element. Is there anything new that you're working on now?
Oh yeah, a lot. I actually have, besides this 2 volume, I have a new book coming out. But it will be 5 years' time. I'm working with a few Chinese intangible asset craftsmanship. 非遗工艺. Okay, what are the 非遗工艺? I'm really working with a master of Cloisonné enamel from Beijing. He's making all the watch style from packet fitted from coral rooms. So I'm collaborating with him to do Chinese intangible craftsmanship. I'm also working with a master lacquerware maker in Huizhou near Huangshan. I'm going to make lacquerware jewelry, okay? And I have been employing a lot of traditional craftsmanship in my jewelry, like Cloisonné enamel, also 螺钿技术. 螺钿 is the traditionally Chinese furniture. They have the shell inlay on furnitures. Now Vietnam basically took over the business. A lot of the Ming Qing furnitures, they have very elaborate inlay, either ivory inlay or shell inlay. We call it 螺钿. 螺金字邊一個好似上樓嘅樓，田係金字邊一個田，係啦，金字邊一個田。Okay. So I'm quite ambitious in sort of bringing back all the lost traditional craftsmanship in China, because the only way to revive them is to use them. If you don't use them, you belong to the museum of HKUSD, the museum. When things goes to the museum, you will have to say bye-bye to it on the daily lives, right? So So I don't want my work to go in the museum forever. Unlike many artists, they long for the work to go to the museum. No, I want my works to be using for centuries to come. Okay?
Yes. Okay, great. Well, thank you very much. And everyone, let's say thank you to